Divine signs revealed for you. Experience 3. Miraculous blessings and sacred deliverance today. In the quaint English village of St. Margaret's Reach, a sacred hush enveloped the air as the annual procession honoring St. Jude approached. Villagers whispered, "Miracles abound." And among them was Margaret, a devoted mother facing a trial of her own. Each day felt heavier, as her daughter's health waned and her husband struggled to find work. Yet within her heart, a divine longing stirred. 3 miracles were needed: healing for her daughter, financial provision for her family, and unity among them. Every glorious morning, Margaret slipped into the local church, a humble sanctuary. The stone walls carried echoes of prayers and hymns, wrapping her in warmth. She knelt, tears pooling, whispering to heaven, "Please grant these miracles." That flicker of hope turned into a fire, igniting her spirit as she prayed. It felt like the heavens bore witness, a tangible connection coursing through her veins. But doubt lurked like shadows in the sun. Neighbors, skeptical of her unwavering faith, shared hushed whispers behind closed doors. Margaret could feel the weight of their judgment, but Grace's delicate smile pushed her onward. Her daughter, once vibrant, now lay weak and frail, eyes dimmed with worry. Each labored breath hung heavy in the room, a cry for healing bridging their hearts. As the procession drew nearer, despair also lurked. Her husband lost his job that fateful week, leaving their family on the brink of financial ruin. Margaret, clutching her rosary tightly, sought the comfort of prayer amidst the turmoil. The local church rang with familiar hymns, each note breathing life into her fraying spirit. Divine whispers seemed to rise and fall with each repeated phrase. She could almost feel the divine stirring in response. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Yet in her desperation, Margaret sought worldly solutions. Conflicting advice plagued her, dragging her even deeper into chaos. Doubt slipped in like a thief in the dark between prayer and uncertainty. Her faith seemed fragile. Just then, amidst the swirling shadows, she encountered an elderly priest outside the church, his wise eyes piercing the fog of her worries. "Divine signs await you," he murmured, his voice infused with a warmth that ignited a flicker of hope within her. As dawn of the procession arrived, particular wonders unfolded at the clinic. Her daughter, once frail and forgotten, began to glow with life, beaming energy bursting forth like sunlight breaking through dark clouds. Ecstatic joy surged as Margaret felt a shift, the first miracle. Meanwhile, just then, her husband received a phone call, an unexpected job offering, reigniting their hope for renewal and stability. With joy uncontainable, they clasped hands in prayer, reconciliation washing over them like sweet rain. Yet amid their joy, a deeper question lurked. What did those divine signs mean? As they joined the throngs for the procession, anticipation bubbled in the air. Amidst prayers of thanks, Margaret felt the stirring of something beyond her understanding. A mysterious stranger in the crowd, eyes locked on her, whispered secrets of her struggles, leaving her heart racing. What lay ahead in their faith journey? In wonder and uncertainty, a sacred calling awaited. The sound of bells chimed softly in the distance as Margaret and her family moved through the vibrant streets of St. Margaret's Reach. The air was thick with anticipation, a palpable energy that seemed to vibrate through the gathering crowd. Children laughed, the elderly waved, and flowers adorned the paths, each petal a living testament to faith and hope. Margaret's heart swelled, a mix of gratitude and wonder coursing through her veins. Yet the shadow of uncertainty still hung in her mind. Who was that stranger? What truths did he hold? The thought nagged at her as she watched her daughter smile for the first time in weeks, her cheeks rosy with renewed life. But even as joy curled around her heart, doubt tried to creep back in. Margaret forced herself to let go, seeking comfort in prayer, whispering fervently under her breath, "Lord, guide us. Reveal the meaning behind these signs." As the procession commenced with hymns that rose like incense, illuminating the hearts around her, Margaret felt an odd tug within her spirit. It was as if God himself were pulling her toward something greater. Everywhere she looked, villagers moved with purpose, their faces alight with prayers offered up to heaven, uniting them in a beautiful medley of faith. With every step they took, Margaret sensed an inner transformation. The atmosphere thrummed with the power of communal prayer, a wave that moved from one person to another. The elderly priest's words echoed in her heart, "Divine signs await you." She clutched her daughter's hand tighter, allowing the warmth of this connection to remind her of her purpose this day. Suddenly, amidst the congregation, the mysterious stranger appeared again. He moved with grace, his presence commanding yet gentle. The glint of sunlight reflected off his silver hair, casting an almost ethereal glow around him. Their eyes met, and Margaret felt an intrusion of peace wash over her. He smiled knowingly and gestured toward the altar where flickering candles burned, their flames small but resolute. "Look closely," he urged, his voice soft. "There, you will find the answer you seek." Margaret's pulse quickened. Her family had journeyed through trials, but she had faith that light would triumph over darkness. An unexplainable certainty gripped her heart. God was moving and she was part of his plan. As they reached the altar, the priest stepped forward, inviting the gathered faithful to join in a prayer of thanksgiving. With one voice echoing in the early evening air, they raised their hands toward the heavens. Margaret, overwhelmed, closed her eyes, surrendering her worries, her fears, her every burden. Each word spoken sent ripples through her spirit. "Thank you for miracles. Thank you for healing." The words flowed, infused with the essence of divine love. Her heart soared. She felt a shift, a divine presence enveloping the entire assembly, warming the atmosphere. And in that moment, she believed with all her heart that her miracles would unfold in ways she could not yet see. But just as a soothing calm settled over her, the stranger leaned close again, his whisper barely heard among the rising prayers. "You are being called, Margaret. Listen very carefully." An unsettling question loomed in the air. A calling? What did it mean? And what awaited her at the other side of obedience? As curiosity ignited within, the procession surged forward, carrying her deeper into the embrace of divine purpose. What revelations lay ahead? The thread of faith beckoned her onward, urging her to discover a truth that could change everything. Margaret opened her eyes, feeling the warmth of the sunlight filtering through the leaves, bathing the altar in a gentle glow. Her heart pounded as the priest's voice resonated across the square, a beacon drawing all souls toward the divine. Today, we celebrate not only our faith but our unity as one family under God's grace. The crowd responded with a chorus of "Amen," and the energy pulsing through them was both electric and serene. She could see it in their faces, the hope, the longing, the shared journey of faith. Every smile seemed to whisper a promise. Every laughter seemed to release a prayer. Margaret's attention was once again drawn to the stranger. He stood apart, observing, yet somehow deeply engaged with all that unfolded. His eyes, flecked with kindness, met hers as if communicating a silent truth, a truth that ignited her spirit. She felt drawn into a moment of clarity. Perhaps he was more than just a visitor. Perhaps he held answers yet to be unveiled. "Look closely," he had said. What was she supposed to see? She scanned the altar, her heart fluttering. The flickering candles danced against the shadows, casting shapes that shifted and turned, almost lifelike. As the prayers gathered strength, she began to see beyond the altar, the community that stood before her. Each person brought their burdens, their joys, their histories stitched together through shared faith. They were all there for a reason, united in purpose. Then, Margaret remembered her struggles, the days when despair had nearly overtaken her. Thoughts of her daughter's struggle, the walks along empty paths, and the fear of losing hope. She locked them away, leaving room for faith to fill the space. Is this what it means to be called? She pondered silently. To be drawn together, to honor God with love and gratitude. An overwhelming sense of belonging washed over her, growing inside her like a flame. The priest beckoned forward those in need of healing. Some shuffled, others were carried, their eyes searching the skies for a glimmer of the divine. Come forward, he called, gesturing for the sick and weary to approach. Let us pray over you, and let the Lord's light shine upon you. Margaret's heart raced. She felt a tug towards those who bore burdens heavier than her own. In her mind, she heard whispers of divine love. She sensed that the stranger had posed a deeper challenge for her, not just to observe, but to join. Should I go? She nudged her spirit, weighed against her doubts. But then a comforting warmth spread through her, urging her to move. She glanced at her daughter, who now looked up at her with wide, hopeful eyes. With a gentle squeeze of her hand, Margaret stepped forward, heading toward the makeshift altar where the faithful gathered. The faces around her shimmered with desire for something more, an assurance from God, or perhaps a miracle. As she walked, the murmurs of the crowd became one voice, a rising tide of hope. God is with us, they all seemed to proclaim. The words felt like a balm for her soul. Here I am, she breathed, her feet moving as if guided by a higher force. And as she approached those in need, she felt her own burdens lighten a little more, their weight transferred into the collective energy of compassion. Suddenly, the stranger raised his hand, palm facing the altar. Time seemed to stall. The air crackled, and a hush enveloped the square. The priest looked on, awe washing over him as he recognized something profound at work. What does this mean? Margaret's heart beat wildly. Was this part of her calling? As she stood there, the weight of the moment grew palpable, echoing the divinity that whispered through her surroundings. The stranger turned to Margaret, a knowing smile spreading across his face. You are on the brink of revelation, dear one. Are you ready to embrace the fullness of your calling? Each breath she took felt sacred, each heartbeat a drumbeat leading her closer to the answer she sought. What lay on the other side of her obedience? What miracles would she discover, not only for herself, but for her entire community? The questions swirled around her, propelling her forward into an unknown filled with hope. Margaret was ready to find out, ready for the divine intervention that awaited her. What transformation awaited as she stepped into this sacred moment with open arms? The moment hung heavy in the air, pregnant with possibility. Margaret stood there, rooted in place as the stranger's gaze seemed to illuminate a path forward. It wasn't just about her. It felt like a grand invitation extended to the entire community. They were all yearning for something. Healing, understanding, perhaps even a miracle. My child, the priest's voice called out softly. It resonated among the crowd, pulling her from her reverie. Come forth, let the Spirit guide you. The warmth in his tone wrapped around her like a comforting shroud, bolstering her resolve. Margaret took a deep breath, the air flavored with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers. Each step felt as if the earth quaked with prayerful anticipation, the ground beneath her feet vibrating with hope and faith. She glanced back at her daughter, who smiled brightly, as if urging her onward. With every ambitious stride, she found her voice rising, mixing with the chorus of those surrounding her. Lord, let your will be done in my life and in us all. The words rolled off her tongue, resonating within her like a small bell being struck, pure and inviting. The crowd drew close, their expectancy palpable. The stranger's hand still raised, Margaret began to feel the electricity in the air shift. It was as if they were all part of something greater, a tapestry woven by divine hands. Just then, she caught a glimpse of shimmering light flickering where the altar stood, and for a brief moment she thought she saw angelic figures gathering above. Lift your hearts, cried the priest, now igniting the prayers into fervent petitions. Let us believe that healing is possible today. As the sounds of hope swirled around her, Margaret focused her heart's desire. She thought of all the souls suffering, the hardships they bore and the battles they fought daily. She thought of her daughter's struggles. Her prayer coiled tightly in her chest, turned into a genuine plea. Lord, make us a vessel of your peace and love. Suddenly the stranger moved closer, his presence magnetic. It is not just you who needs healing, he whispered, his voice steady yet urgent. In your heart lies the strength to release what others carry. With those words, a wave of understanding crashed over her. She was more than a witness. She was a conduit for divine grace. Together we rise, she felt compelled to say, sensing unity rise in the hearts present. Before her, a woman staggered forward, tears streaming down her cheeks. I have struggled for so long, the woman choked out, her voice barely audible. Will God ever hear me? Margaret instinctively stepped forward, her hands reaching out. Yes, he hears us. Let's pray together, she exclaimed. And as they joined hands, it was as if an invisible thread bound them. In that moment, Margaret felt the weight of collective despair transform into a swell of joyful anticipation. The stranger's face held a brilliance, almost shining with a light not of this world. You must trust, he instructed gently, looking from one face to another. Let this be your moment of surrender. The crowd began singing praises, a sweet harmony that echoed into the heavens. Margaret closed her eyes and felt a warmth enveloping her from head to toe. It was as though love in its purest form poured out from her heart, reaching beyond the physical ties that bound her to the others. It seeped into the cracks of broken lives, binding them together, mending wounds both seen and unseen. As the priest raised his hands in prayer, the sound of a heavenly chorus filled the air, soft yet powerful. Margaret's heart soared, each note lifting her spirit. God's love is here, she declared. The affirmation resonated within the souls gathered. She saw people nodding, tears falling, shoulders relaxing as they surrendered their burdens to the divine, and as the final note floated into silence, a stillness fell upon the finite square. It wasn't just a moment of community, it was a convergence of divine intention, a glimpse of heaven breaking through. But what dawn was to follow? The stranger looked at her again, eyes gleaming with knowing. The light is strengthening, but what lies beyond will challenge the very foundation of your faith. Margaret felt a thrill of anticipation tinged with fear. What would this challenge bring? What revelations awaited them all? Her heart raced, a drum against the backdrop of a moment that felt eternal. Will we be ready for what comes next? As silence enveloped the gathering, Margaret felt a stirring within her spirit. The stranger's words echoed in her mind, teasing the edges of her understanding. Confusion intertwined with a yearning for clarity. The darkness of uncertainty lingered, yet hope shimmered like a beacon. From the front of the crowd, the priest's voice rippled through the stillness. We are on the precipice of a holy truth, he proclaimed. There is a power among us, a presence that is unshakable. With every syllable, the air thickened with unspoken prayers and shared fears. As the priest spoke, a rustle swept through the congregation. It was as if the wind itself was gathering their pleas, swirling them together in a sacred dance. Margaret could feel the tension vibrating in the atmosphere, a palpable energy urging them to lean into their faith. Open your hearts, the priest emphasized, his arms raised to the heavens. Unearth those hidden places where doubt resides. Now is the time to let the light in. Margaret, emboldened, closed her eyes once more. She inhaled deeply, allowing the chorus of worship to wash over her. Each word transformed into a prayer, merging with her longing for healing. Lord, let us see your goodness, she whispered. Let us witness the miracles you have promised. Then, as if to affirm her words, a low rumble began. Gentle at first, like a distant thunder. It sparked curiosity and fear across the faces in the crowd. The stranger stepped forward, radiating calm amidst the growing tension. Fear not, he said, for the roar of the heavens shall speak for those who dare to believe. Margaret felt her pulse quicken, All at once, a brilliant light burst forth from the altar, illuminating the dim square as if a divine spotlight had honed in on the moment. The air crackled with energy, stirring leaves on nearby trees, making them tremble in response. "Faith ignites truth," the stranger proclaimed, "and truth manifests through love." His eyes locked onto Margaret's, as if they shared an intimate secret. Then came a voice, deep and resonant, as if it tore through the fabric of reality itself. "Your faith has brought you here. To have hope is to know the impossible can become possible." It echoed off the buildings, wrapping around them like a holy embrace. Margaret gasped, realization flooding her heart. This was not just an encounter, this was history unfolding. Heartbeats quickened as faces turned upward, catching fleeting glimpses of the ethereal light cascading from above. Each person felt drawn into the very fabric of the miracle. With every beat of her heart, she felt aware of those around her, drawn together by shared anticipation. They were more than individuals now. They were a unified force, a community of longing souls. "Together we rise," she shouted again, her voice merging with the others, creating a powerful ripple of affirmation that surged through the crowd. The atmosphere thickened with expectation. The stranger's smile illuminated his countenance further. Let that voice ring true. Surrender is but the beginning. What is to follow may test your resolve, but you will not walk this journey alone. As the final chords of the congregation's praises faded, Margaret's heart filled with a gentle awareness. What lay ahead promised not just trials but also revelations buried beneath their burdens. Could there be blessings intertwined with challenges? Could they discover the strength of their faith through adversity? A hush fell, pregnant with uncharted possibilities. The community, once bound by individual struggles, now stood on the brink of transformation. What revelations await us in this divine journey? She pondered, glancing at the sky, where the light shimmered as a promise yet to be unveiled, as mystery coursed through the veins of their faith. The light hung in the air, vivid and alive. Faces glowed with a mix of awe and trepidation, reflecting the spiritual electricity that crackled from the altar. Margaret felt the energy shifting, swirling not only around her but within her, deepening her sense of purpose. This was a moment unlike any she had ever experienced, a call to action resonating through her very being. As murmurs spread like wildfire, the stranger gently lifted his hand, urging the crowd to quiet. In that instant, Margaret felt an inexplicable connection to him, as if he understood her most hidden struggles and dreams. "Each of you carries a light," he said, his voice like honey dripped on warm bread. "What you see, what you feel, it is real. It is a glimpse of the truth waiting to be revealed." Margaret's heart raced. She thought of her own burdens, the weight of doubt that often settled upon her. Hadn't she spent too long questioning and second-guessing? This was not merely a gathering. This was an invitation to faith in action, a chance to step forward into the light. "Look around you," the stranger continued. "These are not just faces. They are vessels of hope. Together, we are stronger." His words ignited a collective fire, and Margaret could perceive the spark of belief igniting in the eyes of her fellow parishioners. Voices rose, harmonizing in a chorus of affirmation, and she felt their shared hope wrapping around her like a warm embrace. In that moment, something shifted inside her. "I see it," she murmured aloud, her voice barely a whisper, yet powerful enough in the communal spirit surrounding her. "I don't have to walk alone. We are bound together by our faith." The stranger stepped closer, and his gaze pierced hers with an intensity that made her pulse quicken. "Yes," he encouraged. "Lift your prayers as a bouquet to the heavens. Need not the weight of burdens or anxiety, for faith transforms all." Margaret's tears began to flow, unbidden yet liberating. She lifted her hands, fully participating. She felt the warmth of her neighbor's hands rising with hers, a collective expression of longing and healing spiraling upward. "Let the light in," she cried, joining with all in their countenance of devotion. "We are ready." Suddenly a roaring sound erupted. Margaret looked up as a wind twisted through the square, carrying something beyond language. It was as if heaven had opened its mouth, spilling forth encouragement and love. The crowd responded in kind. A wave of laughter, cries of joy, and carefree movements marked their unity. Fear faded into exhilaration, and hope took center stage. Among the cacophony, the stranger's voice emerged with clarity, ringing true through the tumult. The time is now. Seek the blessings hidden within every trial. They will guide you, refine you, and set your spirits ablaze. Margaret felt a surge within her chest, the anticipation of something grand, something life-altering. What had once seemed impossible was stretching before her like an open road under a rising sun. She was no longer merely a participant. She was part of a miraculous unfolding. Yet, amid the excitement, a delicate whisper brushed against her heart. What if all this leads to a path she never expected? The question lingered like a soft breeze, tantalizing and full of promise. As the crowd continued to rejoice, Margaret's eyes flitted towards the horizon. What lies ahead for us, Lord? She wondered, the question hanging in the air filled with sacred mystery. Would their collective journey be marked by unforeseen trials or divine breakthroughs? It was then that the stranger turned to look at her again, eyes gleaming with an understanding that reached beyond words. "Prepare your hearts," he said, "for the moment of divine intervention is drawing near." With those words, hope intertwined with anticipation. The gathering buzzed with possibility. The atmosphere thickened, saturated with the scent of transformation. What awaited them was still shrouded in divine mystery, beckoning them ever closer to the truth. The wind shifted, swirling leaves around their feet, guiding them as if nature itself had joined the chorus of faith. Margaret closed her eyes, letting the sensations wash over her. Each breath filled her with the energy pulsing through the crowd, a vivid reminder that they were part of something greater than themselves. Suddenly, the stranger raised his voice above the tumult. "I sense the presence of the Creator among us." His declaration struck a chord deep within Margaret. A shiver coursed through her, igniting a flame of anticipation. The crowd fell silent, their focus sharp, each person hanging on the stranger's every word. "Listen closely. The answers you seek are closer than you realize. Sometimes deliverance doesn't come in the way we expect." He paused, allowing the tension to build. Margaret could see the faces around her, reflecting a yearning for understanding, a desire for signs that would illuminate the path ahead. Unbeknownst to them, the stranger motioned, and a brilliant light erupted from above. A golden hue spilled across the square, leaving behind trails of shimmering dust that danced in the air like stars awakening from slumber. Gasps filled the hearts of the gathered, and Margaret felt a warmth spreading through her heart. Could this be the intervention foretold? "The Lord speaks to you today," he declared, his voice ringing with authority. "Each symbol you see is a message, a guidance for your lives. Open your hearts to receive." Margaret's pulse quickened. She felt the hesitation of past doubts dissolving like mist in the morning sun. This was her moment. Her hand flew to her chest, feeling the rhythm of her racing heart echoing a sense of sacred urgency. "What am I supposed to learn?" she muttered, her mind swirling with questions and hopes. As if reading her thoughts, the stranger met her gaze, a knowing smile illuminating his face. "The answer lies within you. Seek the treasures buried deep in your soul. Your journey is unique, yet it mirrors the essence of every journey here." The crowd erupted once more into a blend of prayers and spontaneous songs. Voices joined together, lifting high in reverence and joy. Margaret listened intently, discerning the melodies woven together like a heavenly tapestry. Each note resonated, sending ripples of hope into the air, carrying her brokenness into the arms of grace. "Now take a step," the stranger beckoned. "Walk boldly toward your destiny. Fear has no place in the heart lit by faith." With an inexplicable urge, Margaret began to move forward, a gentle pull urging her into the throbbing heart of the crowd. Each step felt light yet profound, as if she was walking on sacred ground, her spirit buoyed by unseen forces. The closer she drew to the altar, the more vivid her memories of struggle became. The moments of doubt, heartache, and confusion transformed into stepping stones leading her here. "Thank you, Lord." she breathed, tears brimming once again, mixing joy with a sense of release. Suddenly, an older woman next to her broke into laughter, her joy infectious. "Can you feel it? The blessings are coming." "What do you mean?" Margaret asked, her curiosity piqued amidst their shared excitement. "That's the grace of God," the woman proclaimed, her eyes sparkling with vitality. "Friend, it leads us to places we never dreamed possible." The stranger stepped back, arms open wide. "Now, everyone, envision the burdens you carry. What chains hold you down?" Margaret closed her eyes tightly. She saw shadows of fear fluttering before her, chained memories she wished to release. "Lord, I lay them down," she prayed, her voice a mere whisper lost among the gathering. "Come, lift your burden and lay it before the altar. Let the light consume it." He urged the crowd, and one by one they stepped forward, leaving behind their struggles. Margaret felt an overwhelming urge to join them. She stepped to the front, breath hitching with anticipation. Would she be transformed? Would her heart mend under the embrace of divine love? As she took that final step forward, a new realization washed over her. What awaits on the other side, she pondered, a blend of trepidation and excitement racing through her veins. Just then, she caught sight of the stranger's serene expression. "The moment of revelation is upon us," he exclaimed, the air thick with electric energy. Darkness must give way to light, but what would be revealed? Curiosity wrapped around her as the candlelight flickered, illuminating an unfolding mystery. What lay ahead was shrouded in divine wonder, and Margaret's heart raced with anticipation at the potential of transformation. As Margaret stood before the altar, a cascade of emotions washed over her, as if the very air around her vibrated with purpose. The golden light enveloped her, each flicker whispering promises of hope and renewal. She dared to open her eyes, her spirit ignited by an unseen force. Indeed, she felt as if hand in hand with the divine she was stepping into a brighter tomorrow. The crowd swayed gently, their energy palpable, fostering a shared space of anticipation. The stranger's voice pierced through the sounds of worship, rising above the fervor like a beacon. "Prepare your hearts. The blessings flow like rivers, cleansing your sorrows and refreshing your souls." Tears brimmed in Margaret's eyes. She felt the burdens of doubt and despair lifting, replaced with an electric excitement. What had once felt insurmountable now seemed like ripples in a pond, passing and fleeting. As she stood there, she felt something shift within her. A longing for deeper connection stirred, a desire to truly understand the essence of these sacred moments. "Breathe in this light," the stranger urged. "Ask not just what you receive, but what you have to give. For in every blessing lies the power to bless others." With these words, the warm glow of the light intensified, and she could sense it converging into a singularity of knowledge, a divine truth waiting to be revealed. She found herself glancing at those around her, seeing their eyes filled with expectations, dreams, and yes, the weight of their struggles too. Margaret realized she was just another part of this living tapestry of faith and hope, a thread woven together in divine purpose. "Lord, let me be a blessing," she whispered, feeling the deep resonance of those words settle into her heart. What if her own healing could lead to others finding theirs? She could be a vessel, a conduit of love and grace. Suddenly, a young man to her left stepped forward, his voice shaky but filled with determination. "I release the pain of my past," he cried, his arms raised high. His proclamation ignited others. One by one, people began to share their own confessions, their own cries for freedom, spilling forth with a unique mix of sorrow and exhilaration. Margaret felt the collective weight of these heartfelt declarations. It was a river of vulnerability flowing straight to the divine, their faith finding ground beneath those who had felt lost. One woman, with tears streaming down her face, shouted, "I claim my healing." The crowd erupted in encouragement, their voices overlapping, echoing through the square, lifting her and each other higher into a shared joy. Margaret's heart swelled. The atmosphere crackled with love, an electric pulse of togetherness. She closed her eyes once more and offered her own intentions to the universe. In a soft voice she said, "Let all of us who stand here be changed. Amen." As the final word left her lips, the golden hue around them began to shimmer even brighter, transforming into a radiant white light, illuminating the entire square. It felt as if the air had shifted, a soft breeze of love and acceptance swirling around them. Within that moment, something miraculous unfolded. The stranger raised his arms, inviting the light to cascade over the crowd. "You are seen. You are known. What you seek is now in your grasp." Margaret felt a wave of exhilarating peace wash over her, washing away remnants of fear and anxiety. Was it truly possible that these years of doubt had led her to this very moment? The thought beckoned her heart closer to the edge of understanding, and yet still within it lay a divine mystery. What happened next would change everything. What would she discover about herself? What would the light reveal within her soul? As she stood there poised on the brink of revelation, Margaret dared to wonder, could the heart of God truly be beating in time with hers, ready to unveil a new chapter of her life? The palpable pull of destiny lay ahead, and she felt an inexorable urge to take that leap into the unknown. What awaited on the other side of the altar? The white light enveloped Margaret, and in that embrace she felt a sense of belonging. It was a warmth that pierced through her struggles, caressing her spirit and drawing her closer to the divine. As her heart raced, she opened her eyes to find the crowd transformed. Faces glowed with anticipation and hope, a shared moment woven in the fabric of faith. "Can you feel it?" The stranger's voice rang out as he lowered his arms, inviting them to share in this moment. "The veil between earth and heaven is thin." The words danced in the air, igniting something within her. Despite the surge of energy, a question lingered in her mind. What was she really meant to do with this moment? Was there more than just a personal blessing waiting for her? Around her, hands reached upward like branches seeking sunlight. Each lifted voice felt like an echo of her own wish, a desire to find purpose. In that collective yearning, Margaret discerned a deep truth. They were not just receivers of the light, but partners in its distribution. The idea hummed in her mind and flowed to her heart. "Lord, guide me," she thought fervently. "Show me how this light can flow through me." She closed her eyes once more, focusing on her breath. Inhale, the light. Exhale, the love. Suddenly she had a vision, a vivid scene unfolding. She saw herself among those in need, giving words of comfort as they wept, sharing food with hungry souls, listening to those who felt unseen. Each image resonated with a gentle nudge, like a whisper from heaven inviting her deeper into service. Tears began to fall, but they were different now. They felt cleansing, refreshing. She opened her eyes again and glanced around. The stranger took notice of her shift, his gaze locking with hers. "It begins with you," he said, a smile brightening his face. A resolve blossomed within her. "I will be a light for others," she mouthed silently. The weight of hesitation began to evaporate. She felt strong amidst the uncertainty. "Let us proclaim freedom!" the young man shouted again, renewed and persistent. His voice had become a rallying call, echoing against the walls of the square. Others began to echo him, overwhelming waves of declarations spiraling out into the space. "I am healed. I am loved." Each proclamation felt like a small explosion in the air, illuminating the space with hope and unity. Margaret joined the chorus, her voice blending with the chorus of faith that washed over the congregation. "I am a blessing." The words spilled forth like a stream of water breaking through a dam. They filled her with vitality. As the declaration swirled around her, she felt the white light pulse in time with her heart. Each pulsation brought clarity, an understanding that true fulfillment lay not in what she received, but in what she could give. But then the atmosphere shifted, the sudden hush of breath surrounding her. The stranger stood still, his eyes narrowing as if sensing something deeper. "We must awaken our intentions," he proclaimed. "This is only the beginning. What will you sacrifice for your calling? What will you release?" Margaret's pulse quickened once more. What did true sacrifice mean for her? Was she ready to embrace the unknown? In the midst of the crowd, The silence bore weight. She could feel the stirring of spirit, urging her to reflect and respond. And with that, the question hung in the air, heavy with potential. What would she choose to let go of? What cost was she willing to pay? As the white light shimmered above them, Margaret sensed the doorway before her, the threshold to a vast new journey. But would she dare to enter? What awaited her in this uncharted path of action and faith? The answer lay just beyond her grasp. The weight of the moment hung in the air, thick with anticipation. Margaret's heart raced as she stood at the precipice of revelation, the white light enclosing her like a divine embrace. She sensed everyone around her caught in the urgency of the question lingering above their heads. What would you sacrifice for your calling? In that stillness, she felt the pulse of the crowd, their collective heartbeat echoing her own. They were all standing at a threshold, ready to leap into the unknown. The stranger, the radiant light that seemed to guide them, watched intently, his gaze revealing layers of compassion and understanding. "I'm ready to let go," she declared, her voice ringing clear amid the silence. A shiver raced through her as she spoke. "I'll release the fear that has held me back. Lord, I trust in your promise." As those words left her lips, she felt a tide of energy surge through her, a rush of empowerment igniting her spirit. The light pulsed brighter and began to swirl around her, enveloping the gathered souls in an aura of warmth and courage. She saw faces transform, eyes lighting up with newfound purpose. It was as if each declaration had released a bolt of divine electricity through the air. "Let it flow," the stranger encouraged, his arms wide open, welcoming every soul into this sacred transformation. "Together, we rise as vessels of light." One by one, others began to step forward, declaring their intentions to release burdens. "I surrender my doubt," shouted the older woman, her voice ringing with strength. "I let go of my past," echoed a young girl who had once cowered in anxiety. Tears flowed freely as Margaret saw transformation unfurl before her eyes, each declaration lending weight to the communal experience. They were not mere observers, but participants in a divine orchestra, harmonizing their faith and collective longing. "I choose love," Margaret shouted. The words burst forth energetically, and she was met with chorus after chorus, resonating through the square like a wave crashing against the shore. People turned to one another, exchanging joyful glances that spoke of solidarity and hope. Suddenly, the stranger extended his hand towards Margaret, his eyes sparkling with divine insight. "You will lead, dear one," he proclaimed. "A calling to heal, individually and collectively. Are you ready to embrace your potential?" A thrill raced through her. She nodded, tears brimming with gratitude. This was no longer just about her struggles. It was about tapping into a divine reservoir of hope for her community, for those who had forgotten the power of unity and love. As the air shimmered around them, Margaret felt the ground beneath her shift. The altar remained a steady anchor, but it represented more now. It was not just a place of worship, but a wellspring of miracles to be drawn from. "Let the chains that bind us break apart," she encouraged, her voice lifted in joy. "We are meant to soar with wings of faith." At that moment, the light enveloped the crowd like a magnificent wave, sweeping away the last remnants of doubt. The atmosphere vibrated with worship, a chorus of angels mingling with the prayers of the people. Faith transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary, revealing the power of divine potential. In that sacred space, Margaret felt a clear directive settling in her heart. Each person represented a miracle waiting to blossom, and she stood amidst them, ready to nurture those seeds of faith. As they raised their hands one final time, united in the resolve to emerge renewed, they felt the spark ignite within. "He has chosen us," came a voice from the back. "Together we are miracle makers." With the congregation now fully engaged, Margaret knew the journey had just begun. They stepped forward as a single entity, carrying love and hope like lanterns into the dark world outside. This was their mission. They would shine brightly wherever they went. And so, with faith guiding their steps, the people of St. Margaret's Reach moved forward into the light, each heart warmed by the profound connection they had forged. They surrendered not only their burdens, but embraced the potential to uplift others. As the procession wound through their village, a new light blazed within them. Margaret felt infinite gratitude washing over her, a reminder that miracles were not merely an event to await. They were a calling to be lived each day. "Thank you, Lord," she cried, filled with an overwhelming sense of peace. And as they marched on, those words floated above them, intertwining with the warm breeze. They were now a community drenched in grace, an enduring testament to the power of faith and love. Now is your time. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories of transformation and miracles. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread this divine message all around. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this impactful ending. It matters to us. And don't wait even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Make your voice heard.